EB was, in my opinion, getting a little carried away with Jayden Daniels' performance in the preseason. I said, well, look, he's got he's got great completion percentage and all that stuff, but he's been throwing mostly sideways passes.
By the way, my evaluation is based on the evaluations of all the reporters that are out there, everything.
And that's what I'm getting to.
Everything.
So the reason why I bring it up is I brought that up as like, hey, well, let's just wait and see. We haven't seen him have to make tight window throws. We haven't seen him pressured. We don't know what's going to happen. But you actually watched him in practice. What did you see?
I saw those tight window throws. And granted, I saw one practice. So that's one data point. The preseason game, that's another data point. The guys that are covering the team every day, they're the ones that see all the data points. So they're going to know exactly what Jayden Daniels is all about. But in that joint practice, I saw excellent ball placement. Think about a receiver that's tightly guarded by a cornerback, and the quarterback puts the ball in the air up high just to the right of the receiver where only the receiver can go and get it. That's what happened on his first touchdown throw to Terry McLaurin. I think that he does a really good job of taking care of the football. There were times when the Dolphins defense got pressure on him. He avoided the pressure, and he put the ball – he probably was throwing it away, but he gave his receiver a chance to maybe make a play for it. You've seen those throws where it's my guy or nobody gets it, those types of throws. He did that. I don't remember seeing any interceptions. I don't remember seeing anything off target and going, whoa, that doesn't look right, or whoa, that's what a rookie's supposed to look like. He was polished coming out of LSU. And so now to see him that polished in Washington in practice and in preseason games, man, that's encouraging. And that's why he's a top 12 quarterback for me in fantasy, guys. I think you can draft him. I don't know if I'm ready to start him week one when they go up against Tampa Bay, but I'm feeling that he will end up being a difference maker in fantasy this year. And he's going in round 9, round 10, just one of those later quarterbacks on draft day. Especially when you add in the rushing yardage and what he's capable of doing. And here's another point. Eckler told me this. He knows how to take care of his body. He knows when to slide, when to get out of bounds. That's something he didn't always do a good job of at LSU. Austin said that he's doing a better job of that now, and that's something that would extend his career, save him from missing playing time.
Yeah. It's interesting that you do rank him 11, and you rank him ahead of guys who had 30-plus touchdown passes last year. Now, Daniels is a runner, Purdy and Tua are not. You have him ahead of Caleb. You had him ahead of Jared Goff, who had 30 passing touchdowns. But, again, these guys aren't runners like Daniels is. What kind of numbers are you projecting rushing for JD?
I think he settles somewhere between 700 and 900 yards. So I'll be a little shy of 1,000 yards.
That would be huge.
Profile.
That would be huge.
Yeah. No, of course. Listen, that's almost 100 extra fantasy points on top of what he does as a quarterback, and I think he's a really good quarterback. So maybe I'm getting a little too excited after seeing him. And again, I've only seen him in preseason games and in one joint practice. So I've had 3 data points to go off of on top of doing what EB's done, which is looking at what the reporters say and more than one of the reporters. And, man, the Commanders have a lot of smart people following the team. I just think that Daniels – there haven't been many reports of Daniels being flustered or being off target. You're reading that with Drake May, and it sounds like Drake May is coming around in New England, but it just doesn't sound like Daniels is going through the same type of growing pains that May is going through or that J.J. McCarthy went through. And that's a really good thing, and it makes me optimistic to take the chance on Daniels in fantasy.
I agree, but, you mentioned there is one guy, and these guys are telling me he's a freaking fantasy legend. What was the guy's name? Aaron Schatz or something that said it looks like Daniels. Forgive me.
He thought Caleb was going to be a superstar.
Well,
and
Daniels might be the guy that's not, and he didn't say it because of Jayden. He said because of Kingsbury. And then there's been this whole criticism of Kingsbury's offense. What is your take on that?
I think Kingsbury isn't going to run the exact same type of offense that he ran in Arizona, right. And that's encouraging to me. I think Dan Quinn is still a little old school when it comes to offensive philosophy. He wants to run the football. He'd love to win games with defense. I don't know how many games he's going to win this year with the defense as it's constructed now. I love the linebackers, but I worry a little bit about the pass rush in the secondary. I think they're going to need Jayden to throw, and I doubt that it's what Cliff Kingsbury's offenses used to be. I think it's going to be a little bit more of spread formations, plenty of motion. That's something that I saw in the joint practices too. They used a lot of motion. They used a lot of tight ends. That's something that we didn't see from Kingsbury, for example, in his college days. I would venture to say that Kingsbury has kind of matured a little bit, and that he doesn't want to be this like air raid guy. He wants to be a winning guy. And if that's going to be the case, he will develop an offense that's perfect for Jayden Daniels, and he will roll with it. I also think that the addition of Brian Johnson is huge for Washington because he came from Philadelphia. He worked with Jalen Hurts. I think we're going to see a little bit of Philadelphia's offense involved in what Washington does this year, too, when they do indeed decide to drop back to pass or use an RPO. And there's going to be a lot of that this year. That encourages me.